Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 83rd day since the full-scale Russian invasion and 9th year of Russian-Ukrainian war. I'm Dmytro Zhyvytskyy on behalf of Mediacentre Ukraine. I'd like to welcome all the journalists covering our fight for freedom. Our guest today is Dmytro Zhyvytskyy, the head of Sumy Regional Military Administration. So, Dmytro, tell us, what are the hotspots in your region? Good day. It hasn't been a very good day, though, for Sumy. The morning started with the missile strike on Ohtyrka. Residential areas were targeted. A school was ruined, a kindergarten, to some residential homes. One high-rise apartment building was damaged. People were blocked inside because the door was deformed and it couldn't be opened. A church was damaged. A lot of shops were hit. So this is a massive airstrike launched by the Russian invaders. Since the 8th of April, we had a relatively quiet stretch of time. We haven't sustained many attacks initially, but then they grew in intensity, and now we are coming under air raids. There are helicopters launched by Russia from its territory, launching air-to-surface missiles on Sumy. We've come under air raids when missiles were launched at us. A number of companies were bombed in Sumy. Buildings were mangled and the warehouses as well. So the Russian fascists have reported in the media that they've allegedly targeted a military unit and some Ukrainian hardware, but this is not right. They damaged the agricultural machinery like the sowers, etc. Please help understand the logic of the Russians. So what Russians were trying to achieve when they targeted Oktyrka? I don't know what they are trying to achieve, but according to the experts, according to my personal assessment of the situation, we know that Russia has depleted its high precision munition, and they're using the missiles that date back to the last century with very poor precision, and these great hits of the civilian objects must be because of their great circular error. As for the more border areas of Sumy neighboring with Russia, the areas are coming under intensive attacks from Grads, artillery, and they indiscriminately shell houses, farms, some residential areas. And I can follow no logic. They must be after trying to destabilize the situation. Following the logic, we've got the missiles, why not shoot them? Or something of the kind. Unfortunately, they damaged a lot of civilian infrastructure, a mental clinic, some camps, farms, many residential homes. A man died in one Bilopilsk community who was killed in the attack and received incompatible with life injuries. There was a recon sortie from Russia. There was another major scuffle. There's another scuffle in Shostka district, as well as intensive shelling. The granite launchers are used small arms as well, and we see that the Russian fascists continue to trying to step up the tension. And today we haven't seen such massive shelling as today. Let's go back to this attack on the border outpost in the north of Sumy region, which happened yesterday, which took the life of a Ukrainian border guard. Should we consider it as a one-off provocation, or is it part of a larger onslaught or an attempt to launch an offensive from the north of Ukraine? Well, as of today, it's not an onslaught as they lack the combat force on the Russian side, but it's only a matter of time. Now they are uh, trying reconnaissance by fire, trying to probe our readiness to take them on, and whether we can seriously fight them back. So these are one-off minor incursions over the national border, trying to invade into the territory. Well, what effect could this invasion have? Say 20 people do break in, what will that do? The territorial defense would engage them. In the early days of war, people challenged convoys with armored vehicles barehanded virtually. But now we have reinforced the border, we have the border guards, the armed forces, the territorial units, and voluntary formations all at the ready. It's not going to be a walk in the park for them. So before venturing, they should think twice. What about the reconstruction of the region where heaviest fighting took place, where heaviest damage was sustained? There are daily demining operations in progress. There are hundreds units of remnants of war that are demined, including mines, anti-tank, anti-personnel mines, tripwire, grenades, projectile, explosives. There are many territories when the deminers have to do a very thorough demining clearance, as the Russians have left behind mines in the fields, in the gardens, in the vehicles, in the cemeteries and people's homes. Workers continue to rebuild the roads. We are actively rebuilding the stretches of the road in Konotop district, Romny, Sumy. These are the stretches of the roads that sustained heaviest damage from the hundreds units of the Russian armed vehicle. We're trying to restore the roads in the villages which were ruined by the Russian heavy machinery. Basically, the roads were annihilating, leaving a field behind. So we are trying to make them passable for the time being, and then we'll lay the tarmac. And when the time comes, we're collecting evidence of the crimes committed by the Russian Federation in Sumy region. We've collected the evidence to prove the facts of murder. Some bodies remain unidentified. Many bodies were found with the signs of torture, with tied hands, shot through limbs, shot in the back of the hands, shot from the back. We are exhuming the bodies in Trostianet, the State Bureau of Investigation, exhuming the people buried in the yard, courtyards, gardens, as people were not allowed to bury the dead. People who died at home were also not buried, and the law enforcement agencies are collecting the evidence, and also now we are working through the wreckage, clearing the debris, and now looking to fix up the homes, the windows, the doors, and most importantly, we are focusing on bringing back the essential services, the water, gas, the electricity. We want to have the thermal power station up and running soon, but the networks have been badly mangled. The grid has been torn. There were times when it was minus temperatures outside, and some thermal pipes have burst in the multi-story apartment buildings. This is difficult because many people are away and we cannot enter the apartments and check the integrity of the system. This was Dmytro Zhyvytskyy, military governor of Sumy. This is a region that has come under the heaviest missile and aviation strikes over the last week. Thank you, Dmytro, for being with us.